In today's video, I'm going to take us through the key differences between project management and change management, as well as the role of HR business partners in supporting or leading and or managing change management initiatives in our roles. You may have seen in various HR business partner job adverts that there is a requirement to support change management initiatives in our role. But then again, HR business partners are not qualified and full-time change managers. This doesn't stop us from leading and or managing various changes in our roles. In my own experience as an HR business partner, you don't have to be a qualified change manager to support and lead on various changes across the organization. We should at least understand the various change management frameworks, phases we need to go through, steps we need to take, what sort of plans we need to be thinking about to be able to lead and or manage various changes in our roles. What are the key differences between project management and change management? The way I see it in very much simple terms, project management is all about what is actually changing. It tends to be very technical, certain things have to be done, and someone needs to keep an eye on if things are getting delivered as they have been planned. Think about launching a new software tool, where you are getting rid of the old one and implementing the new one. So there would have to be certain steps put in place to decommission the old one, introduce the new one, implement the changes. Certain key milestones have to be done. You have to perhaps work with the external supplier, and there is usually going to be a go live date when the switch button is going to take place from turning off the old system and turning on the new system. So in summary, it is all about what is actually changing. Change management in simple terms is all about people, how people react to these changes and how people transition during these changes. It tends to be about our mindset, our behaviors and culture. So in summary, project management is about the technical side, what is being changed, whereas change management is all about the people side, the human side, which is how this change is going to be delivered. Can a project manager and change manager be the same person? Yes. But where the issue could come up is the competencies, the skills of the project manager, and also, in my own personal opinion, capacity. You have to have both competencies and capacity to be able to do both. And this is when you often see project manager and a change manager working alongside each other, delivering certain changes across the organization. If we go ahead with our projects without thinking about change management and impact on people, some of these projects are very likely to fail. What do change managers do on a day-to-day basis if we put ourselves in their position and their shoes? So their primary role is to understand the project plan, the key milestones, and what needs to happen. They would then develop a change plan and communication plan that need to support the overall project plan delivery. They would do stakeholder mapping, they would set up change networks, they would identify change champions to make sure that people understand what is going on and that this change continues to get represented in various teams across the organization. They're often in charge of managing communication plans. They may even work with the communications department. And if they work alongside HR business partners, they're very likely to ask you to read certain updates and certain information as well, and for you to give your own stance on things. They also would produce risk reports, and they would often run risk meetings where they would talk about various risks. So there is very likely to be a risk tracker and what's the likelihood of certain things happening or not happening. And finally, they would produce certain reports required for the project meetings, as well as more senior people and leadership type reporting meetings. When it comes to our roles as HR business partners and supporting various change management initiatives across the organization, there could be a number of initiatives that would require us to think about change management and impact on people. It could be a simple policy change, it could be a simple process change, or it could be something much bigger where there is a change in systems that they use, softwares that they use, hardwares that they use, or simple tools that our workforce would use, as well as change in products and services and leadership team. It could be changes in budgets, changes in procurement processes, changes in locations, changes in where we sit. There could also be two teams merging together or two departments merging together. There could be two organizations merging together or one organization acquiring the other one, and now there is a required change initiative to be looked at. There could be all sorts of changes in terms of growth, reduction, or laying off or redundancy type situations as well. And some of these changes could be positive changes or negative changes. So I would suggest it doesn't matter the change and what is actually going on, that we should be asking relevant questions, conducting relevant change impact impact assessment to really understand the 4 key areas. We should be asking questions, for example, as a result of this change, is there any impact on people? As a result of this change, is there any impact on employees' terms and conditions? As a result of this change, is there any impact on technology and tools that our people are using at the moment? As a result of this change, is there any impact on our current structure and operating model? As a result of this change, is there any impact on our culture and behaviors and the way we work at the moment? And finally, as a result of these changes, is there any impact on performance, customer expectations, and compliance? All of this would require us to think about changes that happen on a small scale as well as a big scale across the organization. If you currently work as an HR business partner or aspire to work as an HR business partner and you want to develop in this particular area, change management is one of the critical skill sets to have and maintain on a regular basis. I would say is one of the key skills going forward, and we are very likely to be tested about our change management experience in our roles from time to time. So think about 3 levels you may find yourself when it comes to change management. You could support certain changes, you could manage changes, and you could lead changes. This will depend on what level you operate at as an HR business partner. I actually created a video about HR business partner levels, explaining different levels and how you may find yourself changing from a level to a level. So when it comes to supporting, leading, or managing some of these change management initiatives, this will also depend on what level as an HR business partner you operate at. In a nutshell, if you're supporting changes across the organization, this means someone else is going to give you a number of actions that have to be supported, as in you're very likely to support a project manager, change manager, and or a senior HR business partner. If you find yourself managing changes, which means you're technically doing the role of a change manager, you're very likely to have a slot at a particular project management meeting. You are very likely to work with the project manager and you're managing these changes. You are agreeing actions and what needs to happen, and you may have a team to delegate certain things to. If you're leading changes, this means you are agreeing what needs to change, how it's going to change, and what factors would need to be looked at. So this means you are there from day one, from the start, from the inception of some of these ideas. That means you've led on scoping what needs to happen, the scale of it, how many people are going to be impacted by these changes, and you would agree the relevant key characteristics of these changes with your business leaders. Business sponsorship would have to be obtained for this to go ahead, and then you would work with the rest of your HR team to see how you can deliver it together. I would suggest that you spend some time reading about relevant models, frameworks, and things like that. You could do certain courses as well. Pick the model that works for you. See if your organizations want to fund for you, or maybe you want to pay for it privately. You can also download my own change management framework and toolkit that you may find helpful in your roles to help you get started. I also issue weekly newsletters. I suggest you subscribe to it because I do share lots of free tools and toolkits that can help us and assist in our roles. I tend to share a bit more privately as to what is going on. If you have liked this video, there are many other similar ones on my channel, so I'll see you in the next one.